sure if you've been told you need flood insurance for your mortgage or you've decided to protect your property from flood risk, you might be wondering exactly how to get covered. I'm Chris with the Flood Insurance Guru, and today I'm walking you through the complete process of purchasing National Flood Insurance Program coverage, from finding an agent to understanding your policy documents. This straightforward guide will help you navigate the process with confidence. The first step is finding an insurance provider who can sell you an NFIP policy. You have several options. First, contact your current homeowner's insurance agent. Many property insurance agents are authorized to sell NFIP policies, and working with your existing agent can simplify the process. If your current agent doesn't sell flood insurance, you can use the NFIP provider locator at floodsmart.gov. Simply enter your address, and you'll get a list of agents in your area who can help you. You can also call the NFIP Help Center at 1-877-336-2627 for assistance finding an agent. Remember, NFIP policies are federally backed and have standardized coverage, so the policy itself will be the same regardless of which authorized agent you choose. Most NFIP policies are sold through the Write Your Own program, where private insurance companies issue policies and handle claims, but the federal government underwrites the coverage. This means you'll work with a private insurer, but the policy is backed by FEMA. Before contacting an agent, gather the information you'll need for the application process. Being prepared will make the process smoother and ensure you get accurate quotes. You'll need your property address and contact information. Information about your property's construction, including year built, number of floors, foundation type, slab, crawl space, basement, building materials, the flood zone designation from FEMA's flood maps, information about your mortgage lender, if applicable, details about the property's flood loss history, if any. To find your flood zone, visit FEMA's Flood Map Service Center at msc.fema.gov and enter your address. The resulting map will show your flood zone designation, which is crucial for determining your insurance requirements and costs. If your property is in a high-risk flood zone like Zone AE, consider obtaining an elevation certificate before applying. While not required, this document prepared by a licensed surveyor shows your property's elevation relative to the expected flood level and can potentially qualify you for lower premiums if your property is elevated. An elevation certificate costs about $500 or $1,000, but can save you thousands over time if your property is above the base flood elevation. Check with your local building department first. They might already have one on file for your property. Before applying, you need to understand your coverage options so you can make informed decisions. NFIP policies offer two types of coverage. One, building coverage protects the structure itself, including the foundation, electrical and plumbing systems, HVAC equipment, and built-in appliances. For residential properties, the maximum available is $250,000. 2. Contents. Coverage protects your personal belongings like furniture, clothing, and electronics. The maximum available is $100,000 for residential properties. You can purchase building coverage, contents coverage, or both. If you have a mortgage, your lender will typically require building coverage, but contents coverage is optional. However, considering that floodwaters damage everything they touch, contents coverage provides valuable additional protection. You'll also need to choose your deductible amounts. The NFIP offers deductible options ranging from $1,000 to $10,000, with separate deductibles for building and contents coverage. Higher deductibles lower your premium, but increase your out-of-pocket costs if you file a claim. For example, increasing your deductible from $1,000 to $5,000 might save you 15–20% on your annual premium. Consider your financial situation and risk tolerance when selecting your deductible. Once you've gathered your information and understand your coverage options, it's time to complete the application with your agent. The application process typically includes 1. Initial consultation with your agent to discuss your needs. 2. Completion of the NFIP application form. 3. Selection of coverage amounts and deductibles. 4. Review of the cost estimate. 5. Payment of the premium. 6. Waiting period, typically 30 days, before coverage takes effect. 7. Receipt of your policy documents. Your agent will guide you through the application form, which collects information about your property and desired coverage. Be completely honest about your property's characteristics and flood history. Inaccurate information could lead to claim denials later. For payment, you have several options. If you have a mortgage, your lender will likely require that premiums be paid through an escrow account as part of your monthly mortgage payment. If you're paying directly, you can typically pay annually in one lump sum or through a payment plan if offered by your insurance provider. Be aware of the standard 30-day waiting period before coverage takes effect. There are a few exceptions to this waiting period: initial purchase of flood insurance during the 13-month period following a MAP revision, initial purchase in connection with making, increasing, extending, or renewing a loan, initial purchase after a flood loss that was caused by a federal disaster declaration. After your application is processed and payment is received, you'll receive your policy documents. Take time to review these carefully. Your policy package will include declarations. Page shows your coverage amounts, deductibles, premium, and policy effective dates. Standard flood insurance policy. The complete terms and conditions. Policy forms and endorsements. Any additional coverage or policy modifications. Claims. Handbook. Information on how to file a claim if needed. The declarations page is particularly important. It confirms your coverage amounts and effective dates. Verify that all information is correct, including your property address, flood zone, and coverage limits. Keep these documents in a safe, accessible location, not in your basement where they could be damaged by flooding. Consider keeping digital copies as well. You'll need these documents if you ever need to file a claim. NFIP policies are issued for 1 year and must be renewed annually. About 45 days before your policy expires, you'll receive a renewal notice from your insurance provider. When you receive your renewal notice, review it carefully. Check for any changes in coverage, premium, or property information. This is also a good time to consider whether your coverage amounts are still adequate for your needs. Several factors might change at renewal. Premium rates may increase or decrease based on NFIP program changes. Your flood zone designation might change if new maps have been issued. Your property's replacement cost may have increased due to inflation or improvements. Your mortgage status may have changed. If you have questions about your renewal or want to make changes to your coverage, contact your agent before the renewal date. Maintaining continuous coverage is important to avoid lapses that could result in waiting periods or loss of certain grandfathering benefits. While we've focused on the NFIP, it's worth mentioning that private flood insurance is increasingly available as an alternative. Private policies may offer advantages for some property owners. Private flood insurance may offer higher coverage limits than the NFIP's $250,000, $100,000 caps, additional coverages not available through the NFIP, such as living expenses if you're displaced, potentially lower premiums for some properties, especially those with favorable elevation. Different waiting periods, sometimes shorter than the NFIP's 30 days. More flexible payment options. If you're considering private flood insurance, ensure it meets any lender requirements if you have a mortgage. The Biggert Waters Flood Insurance Reform Act requires lenders to accept private policies that meet certain criteria, but some lenders may still prefer NFIP coverage. When evaluating private options, ask about the insurer's financial stability, claims paying history, and whether they might non-renew your policy after a flood event or map change. Issues you don't face with the NFIP. Purchasing flood insurance through the National Flood Insurance Program is a straightforward process when you know the steps. From finding an agent to understanding your policy documents, being informed helps you secure the right coverage for your property. If you need assistance navigating the flood insurance purchasing process or want to explore your options, visit floodinsuranceguru.com or call us at 205-451-4294. Our specialists can guide you through every step and help you find the optimal coverage for your specific situation.